guys, welcome to today's video. As you know, or most of you probably know, that I release videos on Sundays and Wednesdays, but I decided to release a video today instead of Wednesday this week because it was really pressing on me to cover this case in particular, and because of the fact that it is an active investigation and things can move and change so quickly, I didn't want to wait until Wednesday to post it because honestly, it could have so much more information by then that I technically would have been not giving full information if I were to wait, if that makes sense. So to get started, we will be discussing the disappearance of Ana Walshe. Now, if you live in the United States, my guess is you have likely heard of her or have seen her face on your social media platforms or on the news. Originally, I think it was more local news sources that were covering her disappearance, but it is definitely covered throughout the United States now and international as well. I do also want to just reiterate that at the time of this recording, Ana Walshe's whereabouts are still unknown, and this is an active investigation. I was first alerted of this case by my best friend who lives in the Boston area of Massachusetts, which is quite close to where this case is actively being investigated. After reading a bit about this case and seeing more and more news reports circulate, trying to determine where Ana Walshe is and what could have possibly happened to her, I decided to jump in and cover this case. I have never covered a case that was in this stage of an investigation, but at this time, it does seem as though there is enough information that I can share what is currently known, and then as things evolve, I can either make future videos or post it on the community page as the story develops. So, 39-year-old Ana Walshe is a regional general manager for Transpired, which is a property management and real estate brokerage, and they have many locations throughout the United States, Europe, Latin America, and Asia. Ana spends much of her time in the Washington, D.C. area. She would stay at her Washington, D.C. home during the work week and would come back to her family home in Cohasset, Massachusetts, where she lived with her husband, Brian Walshe, and their 3 sons, all of which are under the age of 6. This area of Massachusetts is quite affluent, with the median home cost sitting right over $1 million. In March of 2022, they sold Justice Cushing Highway. Ana is a native of Serbia and came to the United States in 2005. At the time, she was going back and forth between Serbia and Washington, D.C. on summer work visas and has since held dual citizenship. At first glance of her social media pages, it would appear that Ana Walshe has it all, at least by societal standards. She has beauty, poise, intelligence, a great wardrobe, a great job, and beautiful homes in both Washington, D.C. and the picturesque seaside town of Cohasset, as well as a doting husband and 3 beautiful young boys. Ana would share her love for high heels and fashion on social media as much as her love for her family and work. Frequently posted personal photographs in documenting how far she had come in her life, both personally and professionally, since her early days growing up in her native Serbia. On October 20th of 2021, Ana would post on Facebook, quote, "If it is to be, it is up to me," end quote. And she posted this with a photo of herself showing her petite stature with her long brunette hair, and she was smiling and posing wearing a black dress. Ana met her husband Brian in 2008 when Ana was working at the luxury Wheatley Hotel in the Berkshires as a reservations manager. According to a letter that Ana wrote in 2021, she described their first encounter together as love at first sight. They would be in a long-distance relationship for many years, but were finally married on December 21st of 2015 at the Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Boston in what was described as an intimate ceremony. The couple wed in front of a few dozen family members and friends, according to a witness. Interestingly enough, the same witness would share that not one member of Brian's family was present at their nuptials. Leading up to her marriage to Brian, Ana was married to a man by the name of Mark Nip, who supposedly worked at the same luxury hotel where she met Brian, who worked as a sous chef. Ana would divorce Mark in 2014, shortly before she married Brian. Unfortunately, and almost eerily, it sounds like Ana's first year of marriage to Brian was not the wedded bliss that she had hoped for. Ana would call police on Brian for allegedly threatening to kill her and her friends, but case was closed when she refused to cooperate, according to a police report. I want to take an opportunity to talk a little bit about Brian Walshe's rocky past that is completely separate from Anna's disappearance. I think this is important just to give some context into who Brian is. Brian has been on home confinement because of a federal conviction for fraud following a scheme where he stole and sold real and fake Andy Warhol paintings. According to court documents, in 2016, Brian stole a number of Warhol paintings and other precious pieces of art from a friend in South Korea. He would falsely offer to sell these artworks for him. Once Brian returned to the United States, he stopped all communications with this friend. Brian then attempted to sell the Warhols to a gallery that refused them because Brian would not produce a bill of sale. Eventually, however, he sold one on eBay for $80,000. But when the buyer, a California art gallery owner, received the painting, he knew it was fake. In this selling process, Brian had sent pictures of the real stolen paintings, but ultimately sent a fake copy to the buyer. That buyer was Ron Rivlin, the owner of Revolver Gallery in California, the largest Andy Warhol gallery worldwide. In dealing with Brian at first, Rivlin would say that he was charismatic, articulate, and professional. And, however, after he had delivered the fake painting, he was unreachable until Rivlin involved the FBI. According to Rivlin, he would say that he is very tactful in how he plays the legal system. It has been over 6 years, and Brian has avoided sentencing this long. And this is true. A series of payment delays, as well as other issues, had delayed sentencing by a year and a half. Brian pled guilty as part of a plea deal in 2021. This deal involved no jail time, but he had to either return the stolen paintings or pay restitution for them. Thus far, Brian has been unable to do either. In addition to this, Brian has been accused of destroying his father's will that disinherited him when he died back in 2018. And he went on to collect tens of thousands of dollars from his father's estate that was not meant for him. This probate issue has been the latest delay in his ability to be sentenced and pay the victims in this art heist case. just a little bit of information about Brian's father, Thomas Moorcroft Walsh. He was a neurologist, and the two men became estranged more than a decade after Brian allegedly swindled him out of $1 million. The esteemed neurologist left his only son, quote, "my best wishes but nothing else," end quote, in his will, which prosecutors said that Brian then destroyed before draining his father's bank accounts and selling off his valuables. Rivlin would describe Brian as a calculated guy. He was quoted saying, "I have bought over 1,000 Warhols, and this is the one and only acquisition that got by me. He was that good. What happened to me is telling of Brian's masterful ability to coerce people," end quote. Throughout this major run-in with the law, Ana, however, stood faithfully next to Brian and offered her unwavering support. She had written letters to the court in a show of support of her husband, with the hopes that the courts would show him leniencies. In these letters, she would claim that Brian brought the family nothing but joy. She expressed her deep love for her husband and stated that their 3 sons loved their father very much. Now the world is watching as all eyes are on Brian yet again, but this time because his beautiful wife, Ana, has vanished into thin air, and Brian has misled investigators in her search. So the burning question that I imagine we are all asking ourselves, where is Ana Walshe? And a second question, is Brian responsible? Let's go over the timeline of leading up to and after Ana's mysterious disappearance. On December 25th of 2022, Christmas Day, Ana allegedly begs her mother to come to the United States for a visit. According to Fox News interview with Ana's mother, Milanka Lubacek, outside of her Belgrade, Serbia apartment, she recalled the last text conversation she had with her missing daughter. Quote, "She just said, 'Please, Mama, come tomorrow.'" Her mother would say that to her that this must have meant there were clearly some problems going on. Milanka said that Ana was pleading for her mother to meet her in Washington, D.C., and to fly out the following day. According to her mother, she was quoted saying, "And now I cannot forgive myself for not just letting things fall where they may and just go, and whatever happens to me, happens," end quote. A few days later, around midnight on December 31st, Ana made a final attempt to reach her loved ones in Serbia. According to her mother, she called again at 1 a.m. missed that phone call. She also attempted to call her older sister, who was asleep at the time. And then she also attempted to get a hold of her maid of honor, who did not hear the phone because of loud music she had playing. And her friend was quoted saying, "And now I regret not getting the phone because she has disappeared." End quote. January 1st, 2023 is the last time that Ana has been seen. According to Cohasset police, Ana was last seen leaving her home on New Year's Day. A family member who was at the home said they saw Ana around 4 or 5 a.m. on January 1st. According to Cohasset Police Chief William Quigley, which he had reported during a news conference. Chief Quigley said they were told she was trying to catch a flight to Washington, D.C. for a work-related trip, and that she used a ride-share service to get to the airport. Chief Quigley added they had not been able to confirm that she was picked up by a rideshare service, but they do know that she never boarded any flight to Washington, D.C. According to police, she also had a flight booked for January 3rd, but it had been reported that she was called to D.C. to handle some type of emergency, so she planned to catch an earlier flight than originally planned. Ana would first be reported missing on January 4th of 2023, 3 days after she was last seen leaving her home. Ana was reported missing after she failed to show up to her job, authorities say. Initially, it was thought that both Brian and her employer, Transpired, reported her missing around the same time. However, according to police logs, it appears that her employer actually reported her missing first. According to the log, a call requesting a well-being check was made on January 4th by a man who identified himself as a head of security at Transpired in Washington, D.C. The log also states that Transpired contacted her husband, Brian, before he reported his wife missing. Head of security reportedly said the company had contacted the husband and that he had not filed a missing persons report. On January 6th, Cohasset police held a press conference asking for the public's help in locating Ana. At the time, police said they were investigating her disappearance as a missing persons case. Chief Quigley told reporters that it is not normal that Ana is missing, so they automatically felt that she was in danger by the mere fact that she was missing. And he would also note at another point that at that point in the investigation, there was nothing to support anything suspicious or criminal. Just that it was odd that she was missing. At that time, Chief Quigley would say that the focus was simply on trying to locate her. All it would take was a phone call to let us know that she was okay. On January 8th, days after Ana was reported missing, Brian Walshe would be arrested on a single charge of misleading police during the investigation into Anna's whereabouts, according to a statement from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. On January 9th, Brian was arraigned in Quincy District Court, where he pled not guilty to the charge of misleading police, and a judge ordered him held on $500,000 in bail. He is due back in court on February 9th. During his court appearance, prosecutors alleged that on January 2nd, Brian was captured on Home Depot surveillance footage, spending around $450 on cleaning products, including mops and tarps, despite telling authorities he was actually 40 miles away visiting a Whole Foods grocery store and a CVS. Now, if you remember, Brian was supposed to be on house arrest because of his art fraud related crimes. So, my question is, why would he leave his home and risk further punishment just to go to Whole Foods or CVS like he claimed, or to Home Depot like the footage caught? That's just some food for thought to keep in mind. During his arraignment, Brian's attorney would claim that both Brian and Anna's employer simultaneously reported her missing, but we know that according to police logs, this is not accurate. During Brian's arraignment on the 9th, CNN reported that during the police's search of the Walshes' home in Cohasset, investigators found search queries on Brian's internet records for, quote, how to dispose of a 115-pound woman's body, end quote, in addition to how to dismember a body according to two law enforcement sources briefed on the investigation. As a result, investigators turned their focus from a missing persons case to suspicion that Anna may have been killed. On January 10th, law enforcement sources told multiple news outlets that investigators recovered a bloody knife in the basement of their home. In addition to finding this bloody knife, the investigation led authorities to a trash site in Peabody, Massachusetts, where a hacksaw, hatchet, bloody rug, and a garbage bag with blood, believed to be connected to Anna's disappearance, had been found. Similarly, also citing unnamed sources, WFXT-TV reported that human tissue was also discovered during this search. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office confirmed the collection of items of potential evidence, but did not disclose any further details. A spokesperson said, quote, search activity conducted north of Boston resulted in a number of items being collected, which will now be subject to processing and testing to determine if they are of evidentiary value to this investigation. No details on those items will be disclosed at this time. In an interview that was published on January 10th, Mike and Mandy Silva, who were friends of Anna's, said that she had been in a rush to get rid of several assets before her disappearance. She sold her car and the apartment they had rented from her for the past 4 years. The Silvas say that the apartment buyer paid in cash just days before she went missing. Mandy would say that nothing was adding up and that Ana had seemed different as of recently, and the dynamic of their friendship shifted. She would also say, quote, "Over time, within the last 6 months, things started to get really strange with the Walshes. Ana was selling all of her assets in the Boston area, including our unit. Why are you in such a rush to sell our unit?" she would ask. "It doesn't make sense." Mike would say that this was very out of character behavior for her, and he had reportedly worked construction on Ana and Brian Walsh's many different Massachusetts properties over the years. Mike was also quoted saying, "They never stayed at a property for more than a year, so I figured maybe they're running from something or hiding from something. I mean, she sold all her properties and walked away with a lot of money." End quote. Mike would also wish the couple a Happy New Year by text message on January 1st. Ana would never respond to this text message, but on January 2nd, Mike said that Brian texted back saying, quote, "Happy New Year. Sorry for the delay. I misplaced my phone and my son just found it." End quote. And then nothing after that. There was no mention by Brian in the text messages that Ana was missing. According to the police log that I mentioned earlier, it is also revealed that Anna's phone last pinged on January 2nd at 3:14 in the morning in Cohasset and hit the tower on Reservoir Road in Cohasset, which was less than a mile from the Walsh's rental home. The information from the police log leaves many questions, as 2 weeks have now passed since Ana was last seen on January 1st. Former CIA and FBI agent Tracy Walter, who has been following this case closely but is not directly involved, said she fears that Ana may have been secretly suffering from domestic violence at the hands of her husband during their relationship. Her analysis comes after it emerged that Ana had once called the police in fear after Brian had threatened to kill her and a friend, which I have mentioned already earlier in this video. Court records from 2019 relating to the financial dispute over the will of Brian's father revealed that a witness had described him as a sociopath, but also a very angry and physically violent person. Tracy Walter was also asked about claims by one of Walsh's former tenants, who claimed that Ana had been liquidating some property Stacy said she had arrived at two possible conclusions that could be drawn from this. She thought that it could suggest that Ana was making plans to flee her husband and prepare for her future without him, although it could also mean she was trying to keep the family afloat amid their financial troubles. Ultimately, she said the police will need to focus their attention on Brian's past. She was quoted saying, "I think the things that warrant further investigation are really his violent tendencies, because it has been pretty well documented about the financial issues that he has had and the financial crimes that he has committed. However, it hasn't been well documented about these violent tendencies. It is starting to come out from people that knew him, his family members, these 911 calls, and I think that's something that is going to be incredibly important." End quote. As of today, at the time of this recording, Ana Walshe is still missing. It appears as though the evidence against Brian Walshe is piling up, although I think it is good to have as much evidence as possible. It also worries me that this means that Ana is no longer alive. Of course, I hope for the best that Ana is found alive, but as we know in the true crime world, those flames of hope dwindle quickly, just like we saw with Gabby Petito last year. This case has garnered international attention, with people in Ana Walshe's native Serbia praying for her safe return, according to a statement released from the Serbian consulate in Washington, D.C. That is going to conclude the case for today of the disappearance of Ana Walshe. As I mentioned, this is an active and ongoing investigation, which is why I wanted to get it up as soon as possible, because it's constantly evolving, and I'm sure, or I hope, that sooner than later we will have more answers and insight as to what is going on, given that this is now internationally broadcast. I am thinking that a lot of people are aware of this case and what is going on, or that you're following along in some capacity. Please let me know what you think about this case. I'm really curious to hear what you guys think, because from where I'm sitting, it doesn't look so great. Thank you for being present with me today.